Welcome to the Atomic Construction Podcast, the show where we break down what it really takes to build better projects, stronger teams, and a more respected construction industry. The Atomic Construction Podcast is hosted by Kevin Hohe, construction leader and lifelong learner. Every week he sits down with people who are out there doing the work to talk honestly about the challenges, wins, and wild stories behind the job sites. We cover everything from scaling businesses and navigating project costs to building strong leadership, creating community, and restoring real respect to the trades. And now, here's Kevin.
Appreciate you making the time. I know your time is valuable. I'm fascinated, all things construction, particularly the people side of the business, and I think particularly the people side, and I think recruiters, you being a recruiter, do you identify as a recruiter? How do you identify?
You know, I'm more identified, I guess, as just as an owner. I would say an owner more so, and I'm more business development focused as far as the recruiting side goes. I do it, but I have some recruiters on my team that I hire that are a lot better at it than I am. So.
Oh, got it. So you got a team of recruiters. Okay, but you're in your firm, Lone Wolf. Would you call it a recruiting firm, or how would you?
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
100%.
But I just know there's a negative connotation, right? It's like we hate lawyers, insurance brokers, and then recruiters, like in that order, maybe. And I mean, yeah. I'm speaking anecdotally, but yeah, I'm excited to tell your story, talk about your story. But really quick, I do this with everybody. I got to know who I'm talking to, and I want the audience to know who they're talking to. So, can you take me from birth to today? Key wickets in Greg's life, and you're newly an owner. You're newly an owner. How long have you been running
just
your?
Over a year.
Yeah, okay. That's awesome. Well, yeah, take me from the wonderful day where you were made and birthed into this world to starting your own construction company. Give me the key wickets.
Yeah, so basically, I started out many years ago. Gosh, I think it's almost 28 years ago, somewhere around there. In real estate, a family started in real estate, and I got involved in that. From a very young age, I was out at, as soon as I was old enough to be out, I guess, knocking on doors. I think I was 13 maybe when my mom, who was a realtor, had given me her flyers and said, go ahead and knock on some doors, get out there and drum up some business. So when I was 13, got out there, started early. So it was a very early introduction into a life of rejection, being in sales. So gotta kind of have a tough skin. So went from real estate, spent many years in real estate, and then ended up working for more of a corporate environment. Went to work for 2 corporate companies in hospitality sales, and facilities maintenance. And worked in that environment for many years there, and basically taking care of hotels and hospitality from anything that they could possibly need to keep up and running. From basically, you see it in the hotel, we provided it to them, and did a lot of renovations of the hotels and kind of soup to nuts, anything they needed. We went ahead and provided. So I spent many years doing that. And then once COVID hit, hospitality was hurt. So my kids were up here in the Georgia area, and they decided to go to school up here. So it was good timing when COVID hit for me to go ahead and make the move to Georgia. And once I moved up to Georgia, I ended up hooking up with a friend of mine who approached me to help them open up a division of their staffing company in the Atlanta area, and kind of just stepped into staffing recruiting that way, and didn't have much experience in that arena at the time, but with a business development background, was able to come in and establish that and get that branch up and running for them. And it reached a point where it was just my time to move on. It was with that particular company, it was a plateau of where I wanted to go and what they wanted to do as far as my position. We just had a conflict of interest there. So I really enjoyed the data center space. I had the opportunity to work with a lot of data center projects in and around the Atlanta area. So I decided to go ahead and open Lonewolf Workforce, not just for the data center part of it, but just because I wanted the freedom to run my own company and run it the way that I wanted to and service customers in a way that I think would be a lot better than what I've seen in the industry. So opened up the company about a year and a quarter ago. We are based in Atlanta, but we're nationwide, so we can get to any project in the continental United States, and we do it fast, we do it efficiently. And we do temporary construction staffing and specialize in the data center mission critical space. We also have a direct hire division as well, and we also have a temp to hire program as well. And we do have a couple of programs that go along with that, customer loyalty programs that we've implemented that have become real successful by helping our customers build out separate divisions for data center and mission critical environments. Since it's a very fast moving industry, there's things that are constantly changing. So help them kind of create a roadmap to build divisions that way. And through us, we're able to partner and help them build that way as well. So that is basically soup to nuts from cradle to, not grave yet, but from cradle to where we are. One of the things that we do in Lone Wolf, and one of the things that make us different, is that we're not your typical staffing company. So, and that's one of the things I want to change about the industry, is that what I've seen in the majority of staffing companies is a one and done mentalities. They're coming in, they're finding that they need a couple of guys on a project for a week or two, and a lot of companies out there, from what I've been seeing, we're basically providing some underqualified guys at the spur of the moment, just to fill kind of an immediate need. And then after that, there really wasn't much customer interaction or client interaction there to kind of figure out what their goals are and what they're looking to do moving forward, what projects they have ongoing and upcoming, and how we can partner to fill that, so that there's not going to be any more of those knee-jerk reactions on needing some manpower on the job. So we develop customer loyalty programs to kind of combat that and provide solutions to the customers where we work hand in hand with them. A lot of our projects go on for a minimum of a month and longer, being in the data center world. And like I mentioned, a lot of my clients are looking to build out their data center divisions, so it helps them with the programs that we offer to do that.
Got it. Man, I so want to dig into your entrepreneurial journey, and I also want to dig into recruitment and just your business. So I don't know which way to take it. Of those three topics, your business, are you a close to the chest guy, open book guy? I'm gonna always ask questions, and you can always say, hey, I'm not comfortable answering that.
Yeah, I'm comfortable answering anything except for kind of our specialty kind of programs that we have going on, and any actual numbers and kind of proprietary data that we got going on.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm open.
Okay, cool. So what I'll do, we'll start just as a global, if you don't mind. I'll start with global. I think it's awesome that you started so it sounds like you had 20 something years not in construction and not in staffing, and then you started a staffing construction company. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Can you just, why that niche? Why that? I mean, obvious. It sounds like a target of opportunity. I understand your buddy was starting something, so then you got exposed, and then like what really drew you in? And I was listening. I understand that like other staffing companies are one and done and have the wrong ethos, but you could be staffing. You could be staffing in hospitality. You could be So, what about our industry spoke to you? And yeah, if you could just take me through that decision.
Sure. So I guess a couple things. One, like you stated, I thought there was a better way to a better way to do business, tighter way to, a better way to form relationships with customers, and just I've always had a drive for creating opportunities for people in the trades, and there's just a lot of opportunity right now in the trades, and a lot of kids don't know about, and I say kids, just kids are graduating high school, they really don't know what they want to do, and they are having college kind of pushed at them and pushed at them, and that's kind of been the norm for a very long time. So I have a passion for the trades. It's just there's a lot of opportunity, and I want to see some of these kids get into the trades. We have a shortage. We have a big shortage of tradesmen out there right now, and they're not getting any younger. A lot of them are leaving, or at least hopefully staying on in a more advisory type role to a lot of companies, try to help some of the new guys coming in. So that passion for trades definitely drove me to start Lonewolf, and also we got into the data center specific niche because I enjoyed working the data center projects, and I enjoyed all of the different movement that it has within the space. So data center space is constantly moving, and if you're not on top of it, then you're just going to get left in the dust, because every single day something changes. So whether it be energy efficiency, whether it be locations, whether it be legislation that's passed, there's all sorts of things constantly changing. So I like the constant change of the environment. I'm probably one of the only guys that enjoys that constant change, but I love it. There's just, data center industry alone, for the trades in particular, those guys are making probably about 20 to, in some cases, 30% more than they would make working outside of a data center environment in the trades. So it's pretty cool when I can go up to a guy who is starting out in an HVAC career, or he's starting out as an electrician, fiber, whatever it may be, and say, hey, your skill set is plug and play in a data center environment. There might be a couple of things that you need to maybe brush up on, and we can help you out with that and get you trained to go into an environment where you can make 20, 30% more right off the bat. And it's not like this niche is going anywhere. It's super strong, and it's going to be lasting for quite a while.
That's awesome. And then so digging in kind of on your, and I don't like it, like I don't want to advertise your trade secrets, so just tell me if I'm going too deep. But like there's on its surface, us on, and I'm always like, I'm a big advocate of the last hammer, particularly the specialty guys, and then particularly like the last labor, the last hammer on the job, the last shovel that goes in, like the forgotten few is what I sometimes refer to them as. So it's really, I just adore it, for to be clear, is like, because there's not a really good solution. I think you're like, I don't know, the LinkedIn for introduction to the trades. Do you hope to be that at all? Are you just a, or I mean, because there is none. I've been long hoping to author that, and would love to stack hands on that, because like, how do you get into the trades? Like, where does that roadmap start? So is that a vision of yours, or that's just part of you feeding your customers at this time?
It's a vision of mine as well. To be able to just help people, get into the trades, understand that the trades is a viable option to come right out of a trade school, and right into the field, making the kind of money that a lot of people that go to college for 4 years, they come out and they don't make half as much as some of the guys in the trades do right off the bat right now. So it's a passion of mine to kind of educate people and help some of the not only the younger generation, but some of the guys out there right now who are just looking for a fit. That maybe they're getting burnt out. Maybe they're burnt. They're in HVAC. They're in they're an electrician. They're whatever it may be, and they're just getting burnt out. They're looking for a little bit of a change, and they're looking to better themselves, make some more money. It's something that they definitely can do in a data center environment, and Yeah, that's just something that I enjoy. As far as my customers go, I work closely with them, and we definitely staff with the people that they need. But that's kind of separate from, I guess, my passion in trying to work with some of the some of the younger generation and get them excited about the trades.
No, that's awesome. Well, maybe one day we'll stack hands because I think like
Yeah,
there's a real opportunity for a platform to, well, two
sure.
things that we talk about is like introduction to the trades, and then they're related, but the talent gap, right? Like everybody, like there was a 20 to 30 year gap where trades were not sexy. I think at least
Yeah,
10.
absolutely.
Um, and so those guys are all retiring, and it's like who's training up the unders, and it's anyway. But so then, how walk me through, and I know you're on the business development side. So what starts your process? Are you always cultivating? Because I feel like there's two channels, right? You need to be looking for clients that need you to fill, and then at the same time, you got to have, a deep network of people that want to be filled with, right? And so
Yeah.
are you running both concurrently? Like I'm always building a pipeline of labor that wants to go to work, and I'm always looking for clients that want labor? Or do you start with a client that says, "Hey, I have a need," and then you go find it, or a mixed bag? How do you guys run it?
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. So you definitely always got to have a bench, at least in the major markets. So in the major markets, we have a bench of ready to go tradespeople at all different skill levels, and that's a constant. You always have to keep that bench filled because we could get a job tomorrow that's going to require every single one of them that's sitting on that bench. So that's something that is an ongoing thing for us. So we're always looking for talent. We're always looking for talent, looking to fill those benches for when the project's ready in those markets. And we're also we're also out there working with customers on different projects that require specialized labor. So we can go out and find that for them as well. And then we have our direct hire side, which on the direct hire side, it's more geared towards executive level data center positions. So anywhere from, I would say, like a foreman managerial type position, all the way up into senior management, going into directors, senior vice presidents, um, you name it. So on the upper end, that's where our direct hire comes in, and where we have that niche kind of locked down is just because of the amount of involvement that I have in the space and all the people that I get to speak with. I have a lot of passive candidates that are just like we spoke of before, maybe a little bit, looking for a little bit of a change. They've been an executive with a company for a long time, and they see the data center space as a way to try a little bit something new, mix it up a little bit, use their skill sets in a different way. So those particular candidates might not be in the market right now for a job. They're not on any job boards or Indeed, but we do have them, in our pipeline, basically just waiting for that right opportunity to come along.
Got it. I got to know the major markets. I'm suspecting I'm missing two. Do you mind sharing the major markets? So I'm assuming Atlanta,
Yeah.
Virginia, Chicago, Dallas, Fort Worth. Um, and I just feel like there's two more. Am I missing two? Or how many am I
Yeah,
missing?
Texas is in there. Georgia's coming around. We have some of definitely the Midwest. We have North Dakota, Minnesota,
Dakota's in
um,
Minnesota.
and Arizona as well.
Okay. And then, so I've noticed this when, well, and oh my gosh, what are their names? There's somebody, you and somebody else are on social, like you guys find the projects very early. I find that to be like you're posting about things that are coming down the pipe. That's like obviously strategic. Who's the other person that's doing? They're kids. Do you know who I'm thinking of? They're all over social media doing. They're always. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. Is it you're doing that because it's just fun, or like you got to know about the projects and then you go find the players, or how does that? I don't know if I'm making any sense here, but like, you could argue that your services are a business development service, right? For us, like if we follow you, we can be following projects, right? Is so walk me through that. Is that yeah?
Yeah, well,
Cool.
it's kind of twofold. It's definitely because I want to be on top of every data center project, at least as many as I can in the U.S. And it's just a lot of research and a lot of time spending, just basically researching, networking, just people that I've met in the industry that I speak with constantly, kind of coming meeting the minds type thing, and going ahead and finding the most relative information that I possibly can about data centers, and mostly geared towards. There's a lot of it's geared towards new projects. You'll probably notice that I post a lot of stuff on new projects, and um, it's just, I guess you could say it's kind of more of a passion for me. I mean, people seem to like the information, which is great, and I like the conversations that come of it. I get to meet a lot of really great people, a lot of people that are a heck of a lot smarter than I am, and I learn every day from the people that I meet from just posting and doing that sort of thing. So, I mean, as far as that goes, it's probably a lot of just the passion for the data center industry, and also making sure that that people that follow me get the most up to date information that they possibly can, or at least I try to.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your page, and that's how I found you. So thank you.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so then, like, are you? And I guess this is good for you. Like, who's your? If I got to, let's say, I had a deep network of contractors ranging from multi-billion-dollar GCs. This is not true. Nobody's following me yet. But like, if I were to have the ultimate network for you, ranging from big freaking GCs down to sole proprietors running, anywhere from themselves plus two to like up to 20. We'll call that the smaller business. And then you got the mid tier, the people that are running 20 to 100 people. Who is the client that you want to attract? Understanding, ideally they're in the data center, but I would ask you just more globally, because I know you're not only data center. Your specialty is data center, but who speaks to you? And I would love it if you have like a prospect that you're dying to get to, like if and that you haven't gotten to, or like who is the ideal client, or how do you profile them? How do you build that pursuit path?
Yeah, our ideal clients, it's more so in the mid market, not so much into the larger level, Amazon and Meta and those type companies. It just fits us a little bit better. I could have more of a relationship with the management and the ownership, and more of a partnership in their vision moving forward, that I'd be able to plug and play into what they're doing and understand it. And there's not as much red tape to get to the decision makers, and even to that aspect. I mean, I would say the majority of our customers are MEP, mechanical, electrical, plumbing. We do a lot of telecom and civil as well. So and that is changing. As the data center environment changes, our customer base changes a little bit too, because you have different companies that they might not have been in the data center space previously, but now they're looking to get into it. So I'm finding myself finding some new customers in that niche as well. So but like you said, we don't only do data center work. We do all sorts of pretty much anything commercial construction we can handle. And I really enjoy, though, partnering with companies that are short on manpower, but they want to get involved in data center space. So that would be probably a little bit smaller than the mid market, not too much smaller, but they just need it in, and they want to understand what's involved with getting into the space, what they need to do, who are the contacts, who are the people they need to talk to, and just kind of a roadmap on what they could do to get more involved.
That's awesome. And when you bracket mid market, it means different things to different people. Do you look at revenue? Do you look at hires? Do you look at full time employee? Like, how do you categorize your middle market of the target? Understanding that you'll work with smaller and bigger, but your
Yeah, I
ideal
mean,
client size.
I would say we're probably between 100 to 100 to 100 to 600 employees would be the mid market. But we do have customers out there that are up to 1,000 employees that we work with as well, that operate more as a mid market company, because they have a very lean leadership component. So we're able to we're able to converse with that leadership, and we're able to sit down, have meetings directly with where they want to go. They just have more employees because that may be their business model to deploy. Maybe they're on technicians or something like that. So that's typically where we operate.
It's awesome, and I appreciate you being willing to share that. Like a bunch of my people like if you have over 50 employees as a fence company, you're freaking huge, which is so funny. And it's like you're talking 100 to 600 as mid-market. It's just it's fascinating. So for those, I mean, and I think this is good for my last hammers, is like that aspire to be at that level. So when, because we'll be 200 next year. We were just over 100 this year, probably 250 next year. So at what point who do you normally inject with, right? So let's just take a 300 person company, your average client. Are you working with the human resources? Are you working with operations? Are you working with the project teams? Who do you actually augment through, or are you most of the time through an owner? And I guess I asked the question because I'm just curious. Do you see yourself as an augment? When I think of a 100 to 600 person company, I suggest that they've probably got their own internal recruiting vessel. So are you an augment, or do you take that from them, or what does it sound like?
Actually, kind of a little bit of both. So I would say the majority of my conversations are normally at a CEO level or owner level. We have that conversation, and that kind of gets the ball rolling on what we could do, how we can partner, and then at that point, we'll have a meeting with directors of operations, and in some instances we'll bring in project managers, things like that. As far as augmentation goes, reform that question for me. Ask me again about the augmentation portion.
I mean, I guess, and I don't know, I'm like real serious about the people side, so I might just be early, but like we're going to stand up we're in the process of standing up like our total people program. So from the day that we first solicit them and they express interest in us to the day that we retire them or they move on to their next step in their career, we haven't fully baked this yet. I've done most of our recruiting. That's not fair. We've done it haphazardly as a team. And it's so like, would your suggestion to somebody that's interested in your services, do they need to build, are you I will source all of your people, or I will source a specific need and I'm kind of like a bolt on to your existing infrastructure type deal? Or you can reframe it and say you're outlining this poorly, however you see fit.
Yeah, we work together. So I have customers that they have a very robust in-house hiring team, but there are certain positions where they need some help. And this is common. This is a common thing. There's a lot of big companies out there that have internal hiring teams. However, they do not have access to the type of candidates that we do. So a lot of times they'll reach out for specialty roles, hard to fill roles, more like maybe a director of data center construction or pre-construction, those type roles where they might be just kind of dependent on job boards and looking on Indeed and looking on any of the other job boards out there. But those people typically don't really sit around Indeed for a very long time, and they don't put themselves out there. So what we typically can come in and do is find talent that they wouldn't have access to otherwise. So basically, in our network that we have, we can basically source some amazing people that we have that are passively looking. So we'll help them out that way. But then we also have the ability to basically take over hiring for them. We could do a retention model with them where we'll basically there's a fee that's charged to bring us on board to fully concentrate on the specific roles and timelines that they have for hiring maybe specific leadership positions within a division. And we can solely focus on that if they don't have their own in-house hiring team. So we can offer, different options, whichever works best for the client.
Got it. And then, so you're hiring, you're hiring craftsmen, specialty craftsmen, like a lot of the time? Is that the majority of it, or is the majority of it managers above them? Split?
Majority is going to be craftsmen. So what?
Yep.
Yeah, the majority is electricians, mechanics, plumbers, fiber installation guys, riggers, you name it.
No, that's awesome. I
And that's
and I
what
just
we
want
kind
to
of.
I just want to applaud you, and like I just hope you never leave it, right? Because what I see in the industry, and you can tell me if this is wrong, is once an executive recruiter figures their stuff out, it's like, well, let's only hire executives because like it's a percentage, and then they like always everybody seems to go to the top of the funnel, and then like everybody, like there's a large group of people that just gets abandoned. So I just applaud you, and I give you the greatest
Yeah.
kudos, and I hope that you stay right where you're at. But so what would you, for those of us that are farther away from the trench fight, the digging and the banging of the nails, like, and we want to build companies that attract these younger generation, like what would your guy, do you mind sharing what you would recommend to us to, like, besides hiring you to find them, right? What do we need to do in our organizations to be wildly
Yeah.
attractive, would you say?
Yeah. 100% start a apprenticeship program. That that is one of the most important things. I can't stress it enough. Start an apprenticeship program where you can have some of the guys come in and shadow some of the guys in the field, and have an in-house. If you have an in-house trainer, great. Maybe even coming up with your own kind of company university where you take these guys through how your company works, how your culture is, and the specific jobs that you have, the skill sets that you most use, and train them that way. Even some of the major companies, some of the biggest companies in the world, they basically have um, a funnel where they'll take these kids right out of college and then they'll put them into management schools that are geared directly towards that company. And then once they start that management school for that particular company, they'll lead them up the steps that it takes to join management on a quicker level. So it's something that's done all the time, but I just don't see it happening a lot in the trades. They kind of lean on tech schools, vocational schools, and they lead on organizations like the IEC to provide training, which is great. IEC training is great, but I'd really like to see. I think it would help if more companies were to have interior apprenticeship programs to help some of the guys up and coming.
Well, you validated us because we're standing up a whole company we're trying to give it back to the entire fence industry, is because nobody's training fencers and nobody's educating them. So we're standing up we are standing up an internal apprenticeship program coupled with just a general fencers, because a lot of our stuff ends up being subcontractors. So
Wow.
we want to teach them how to be fencers, and if they want to be business owners, because there's just isn't that schooling for us. So you're telling me we're on the
Yeah,
right
that's
track. We'll
great.
see if we
That's
actually
great.
get it done.
Yeah, it'll happen. I'm telling you that it's a
Yeah.
great idea.
No, that's awesome. Cool. So then, if you don't mind, I'd love to just explore now, or no, let's stay on recruitment. Who do you love competing with on your side? Who do you like adore and you're like, I want to beat them. I enjoy competing with them. They're doing it right. And then who do you, and a lot of people don't like to do this, but who do you do you have any out there that you like loathe that are doing it wrong? Or if you don't want to
Well,
share, I understand.
I guess. Well, I guess what I'll say to kind of cover all of it is I'm definitely a competitive person by nature. So we're more than happy to go up against any other staffing company out there that provides a similar service to us. And that's I always welcome competition. There's a reason they put Walgreens across from CVS. It's
Yeah.
healthy. It's good. So if there's a company out there that is our competition, we're going up against them. We'll do anything we can to win the business. So that being said, I don't really have anybody I hate. If anything, I would say that I actually talk to and collaborate with a lot of other business owners out there that are in kind of not the exact niche that we are, but similar construction staffing, and we do share information together. So I think it's healthy. I think it's healthy, and then I've even gone up against some of those guys, and if we win, great. If they win, great. Uh, but yeah, we're competitive, and we try to win at everything we do.
And then what's the tributary? And I'm sure this is embedded on in all the messages, but if in the event that a potential client is listening, like what is the tributary lone wolf difference? Like what's the commitment? What's the key differentiator on your side, would you say? And that's a really unfair question, by the way. So I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah, it's okay. I would say our key differentiator is going to be a relationship first built staffing partner. That of course, we specialize in data center mission critical, so we have a vast knowledge of that industry. But I would say we are very different. The fact that with our customers, we truly partner with them. We truly, we go through, if there's an issue, I'm gonna be right up in the mix. I'm not gonna be somebody that you're trying to call and you can't get them on the phone. My phone's on 24 hours a day. My customers know they can call me, they can depend on me. So, and we have war room meetings where we sit down and we talk about upcoming projects. We talk about different things that they want to do with their companies, and we get entrenched together and we talk things out and we discuss candidly about ways that we can win and ways that we can partner we're very relationship focused. So that really sets us apart. Not of course, the data center mission critical niche is something that sets us apart as well. But definitely, you're not going to find another staffing company out there that's going to be as relationship focused. I believe that we are, at least we try to be.
I love that. I'm a big proponent of relationship, not vendorship. So I think this next part was where most people will get really uncomfortable, and I would just say like I think it humanizes you, and like vulnerability is really important. So I'd love to share. I think just like you, the entrepreneur, like obviously as you represent your company, you got to be all polished and all of that. But I know that in my 15, I don't know how long I've been at this, but like ups and downs, peaks and valleys, the pain and the suffering. We're on the quest for $1 billion, and I was just this close to the other side of bankruptcy, just like not only like just a little over a year ago. So like, anyway, I just love to dig into your entrepreneurial journey, starting with a very easy, like, what do you love? What do you hate? And it seems like you're often to the races, right? And I just suspect that there's been some pain behind the walls that we don't see.
Yeah, I mean, as far as building a business from the ground up, if you were to ask me today if I wanted to do it again, I would probably think twice, to be honest.
There it is. I figured you might say that.
Yeah, it's rough. It is an absolute emotional roller coaster, and the trials and tribulations that you go through, and the growing pains of it, it's not easy. It's not easy. So there's many times where I was like, "What the heck is going on here?" And are we going to make it here? Are we going to make it? And there's a lot of second questioning yourself. And I think that most entrepreneurs think the same way, where you look at like Steve Jobs and and all those other guys out there, and fear is one of the number one things that keep people from moving forward and doing something that they really want to do, that ultimately would give them the freedom that they want in their life. And it's a lot of overcoming fear. And for me, I'm a faith-based person, so it's a lot of trust in God. So a lot of prayer, a lot of guidance from above, and just sticking to the things that make it work every day, doing just going through the grunt work, going through the 1 foot in front of the other stuff, and just seeing the forest through the trees. But it's not easy. I mean, there's a lot of times where it's extreme ups and downs, and throughout my career, I've been through some really adversarial times where, I mean, there's been downturns, and you take, for instance, back in the real estate market where I had my own company back then, and the market crashed. When the market crashed, you're looking at bankruptcy. You're looking at a lot of things that it wipes out an entire industry basically. So there's a lot of times that really are not easy, and you could put on the happiest face. It could customer facing, front facing, put on the happiest face there is, but there's always going to be those hard times and those trials that you're going to have to go through. But you just got to stick with it. I mean, it's just having that want to continue, and that drive to see the company through and to see your vision become a reality. And it's a lot of bumps and bruises, but at this point I wouldn't change anything for the world. I love it. We're still new, we're still hungry, we're still growing, and those trials and tribulations and hard times are never going to stop. They're always going to be there, but you just have to be able to know that fear is what it is. You just got to be able to overcome it, and dig deep and move forward.
That's awesome. I appreciate your humility. Is the would your guidance, and I get real upset. I'm also a faith driven guy. I just don't talk like it. So if I was cussing, I say it, forgive me. But the you said I would think twice, but also said I wouldn't change it for the world, and I want to dig into that because like I take a lot of issue, and I one day will talk to this woman like the Cody Sanchez's of the world, and there's all these advocates like buying businesses, and I feel like the right answer is like, hey, this is going to be extremely painful. Like, I mean, extremely painful. Like, I feel like that would be the best coaching that you could give somebody is like, are you sure about this? Because you're not really sure about this until you get in there. So,
Yeah.
not to espouse my theology, but is the juice is worth the squeeze for you. It sounds like, right? You wouldn't undo it. You're in it to win it. I guess the thing I'd like to speak to is the illusion of the freedom, right? I think we get into business because we're free, and we get some freedom, but we're also like, I don't know. Now everybody's relying on you. Nobody can take your job from you, but like now. So I don't know. If I said that the idea of entrepreneurialism is a freedom, a pursuit of freedom. Yeah. Anyway, I don't like. It's like, it's captivating, this idea that you're going to be free, but my guidance to any young entrepreneurs is like, there might be some taste of freedom in the first 5 years, but most of it will be total bondage. So I don't know if you would agree, disagree, or what would you have to say about that?
Yeah, it's a 100% commitment, morning, noon, and night commitment. There's a lot of nights that I don't sleep, and I go 24 hours nonstop. But it's the drive and the passion that keeps you going. But you have to know that that's the way that's going to be, until you put systems in place where you can kind of step away a little bit and have a little bit more freedom. So there's ways that you can do that. There's systems that you can take, put into place to kind of put some of the day to day, some of the different activities that you might be doing as a full time owner, and delegate those tasks to people that you trust can do just as good a job as you. But there's systems you could put into place, and that's definitely in the works for us. But yeah, I mean, it is a constant grind for sure. I mean, you're going to have to know that freedom comes at a cost. You're going to have to put in the hard work in the beginning to be able to realize it and see your way through.
What are you proudest of so far? We as entrepreneurs don't take time to be proud. We're always worried about whatever problem. What's your proudest entrepreneurial feat, if you don't mind?
Honestly, just making it happen. I'm really happy that I was able to get this thing going and see the vision that I had in my head and realize it. It's sometimes I take a step back a little bit and think about what I wanted to do, what I wanted to create, and am I there, and am I doing it? And I'm really, I don't want to say I'm there, because I'm constantly changing and we're constantly building and constantly moving forward to do different things. But if I take a step back, just the fact that I'm where I'm at right now and able to speak to some of the most amazing people in the industry and really have great relationships with my customers, exactly what I wanted to do. A lot of things have really fallen into place. So if I take a step back and look at where I'm at now, I'm really just happy to be where I'm at and blessed to be in the position that I'm in.
And how long did you contemplate? Was this like I'm F it, I'm doing it in like a month, or were you like 3 years in studying? I always have had an inkling, how from idea to like I'm walking away from my job. Did you start doing it while you were at your job? How did that all come about?
Yeah, I've always had the thought in my head that I wanted to, start my own company, but this has been going on for a really long time. I've always had the thought in my head that I wanted to start my own company, but I wasn't really 100% sure on the direction that I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. And this just really, for some reason, it stuck out as a no brainer. We have to go ahead and do this. This is what it's going to be. So um, it was always in the back of my mind, but when it got to the point where I found myself at an impasse with the last company I was with. I said, I have a vision here, and I know I can make this industry better. It's just lacking too many things, and I said, I know 100% I can make it better by just doing a few simple things, and that's what really drove me to start Lone Wolf.
It's awesome. And your partner in life, I assume there's a spouse that backs you. Was she all on board, or was
Oh,
was
100%. Yeah,
yeah?
she's cool. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. You gotta have that. You gotta have that second half that backs you. Otherwise, it's going to be lot more difficult. That's for sure.
Yeah. Are you guys running? Are you familiar with EOS? Are you on EOS or no?
EOS is great. Yeah, it's something that we're implementing. Yeah.
Nice. Cool, man. I guess as a last hurrah, is there anybody, if I were to submit this, like, who do you want this to reach? Just anybody from your target audience, or what? Is there anything we didn't cover that you'd like to hit on? Anything? Thanks for spending the time and coming here. Is there anybody you'd like to speak to that I didn't prompt you to talk at or about?
No, I think you did a great job. We covered a lot of different really good topics. I would say, um, just pretty much anyone that's out there that's looking to expand their business. And needs help with skilled trade construction staffing, not only in the data center space, but in the commercial construction space as a whole. And if they're considering getting into the data center world or environment and just have some questions about how they can do that and how they can take their company and go and get more involved in an industry that's really booming right now, just come talk to me. Yeah, reach out to me, and even if it's not to, even if it's just for a conversation, even if we don't work together, even if I can provide some advice that would help you down the road, I'm happy to do it.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, and I appreciate. I mean, you dealt with me. I blew off our meeting like twice, like a moron. I guess one last chance for you to flex, and you can deny it if you don't want to, but let's just pretend that hypothetically I'm coming to you and I say, Greg, I need you to build me. And this is actually true. I need 50 foremen and I need 25 helpers, probably maybe 50 and 50. Or I say, hey, how many can you find me? Because I'm gonna go train them and give them back to the industry. Is that like, would you be able to? Is that something we could do in a year? Is that too ambitious? Is that like, hey, easy day, I'll have them to you next month? What would your answer to me? Let's say I need 100 to 200 bodies that are willing to be trained in fence. How long does it take us to find those, assuming I'm a good partner?
Yeah, where I would reach out to, quite honestly, would be, and these are some people that I speak with a lot too. I would reach out to trade. I would reach out to trade schools. I would reach out to high schools. And I would reach out to folks out there that are putting together specialty programs, such as one that we have here in the Atlanta area called Opportunity Runway. And what they're doing is they are a non-for-profit, and they are taking some some of the youth out there that are looking to get into that are looking to get into the industry, and they're training them with an apprenticeship program for to be techs. So that whole program right there is something that I would reach out to them as well. Anything having to do, I don't know if they have it on the fencing side, but I'm just saying if there's any sort of vocational program like that. But starting with those sources are great. Job fairs, of course, are really good to reach out to. But wherever you can get boots on the ground, where there are individuals looking to start a new career.
Got it. And then if I had said, and I'm just curious why you didn't say, yeah, hire me to do that. That would be not
Yeah.
something. Would that not be? And I actually appreciate that your first instinct is to just give me the advice to go do it myself. That's awesome. But
Yeah.
is that not in alignment with what you do, or that would just
Yeah.
be too?
I would say
Yeah.
for us, it's really not something that we do because typically our guys are already at a level where they have quite a bit of experience.
Got it. Okay.
So
You bet. Okay.
but as far as advisory goes, I definitely like to get involved in helping in those programs. So, I sit on the board at some of the local spots here and advise on different educational programs to train some of the new and upcoming guys that are looking to start for different trades.
Super insightful, man. This is really helpful for me, so I appreciate it. And then is the your average client, is it 1 to 5 key guys, or is it bigger numbers, or is it like in these, like how, and I feel like it's more oriented on the project and the project needs, but is it like what, like if you were to like hit a slam dunk, so, and I'll give you three hypotheticals. So there's a guy like me that just said, hey, I need I need 20 trained MEP foremen. And then I say, oh, and then, so that's guy A. I need 20 foremen. I need 20 foremen across 5 job sites, let's say. And then I've got, hey, every year I need like 5 to 10 this is guy B now. Guy B is like, hey, I need like 5 to 10 superintendent project manager types annually. And then we'll just do A and D. Who is it? Or draw me guy C or gal C that is like, Greg Horton is like going to do dirty, nasty, unforgivable things to work with. This is the perfect client. What does the engagement sound like for you?
I would say typically, regardless of the trade, gosh, I mean, like you mentioned, it really is depending on the skill set. A lot of it depending on if they need somebody with a higher skill set. But if you're looking at, I get a phone call from a electric subcontractor that needs 30 guys on a job. That's something that we can, 30 electricians on a job rapidly. That's something we can pick up and run with. And that goes across the gamut. We could do it for pretty much any trade, that type of phone call. And we can also gear up for larger jobs. We have some orders coming in for 100 guys on some jobs. It takes a little longer, but we do need notice on those. I'd be lying if I could say I could pick up and throw you tons of guys that are up to the standards that my customers want, that I would want on the job. I wouldn't be telling the truth if I could tell you I can get those guys, 30 guys in a week or less than a week for a specific skill set. But ideally, you come to me any trade, we could typically, get 10 guys on a job pretty quickly. In some cases, we can get them in 24 hours, depending on the market. So
that is so impressive.
does that answer the question?
Yeah, but that's just so impressive. Like, and I think a lot of my audience is my fence guys running 20. Like, the fact that you could even talk about finding 30 people in a month or 2 months or even 100, that's like mind blowing, I think, to some people. So that's like kudos, hats off. Like, I can find some, not that many in my own trade, which I'm obsessed with. So that's that's a feather in your cap, I think.
It's a lot of work, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work. It's definitely a lot of work, and we just have ways that we found that really work with that. And just the relationships that I've made, I think that plays a big part of it too, because I have guys out there that I can call on that run in crews. So I have travel crews that I have relationships with that they like to travel together, they like to be together. We have a good relationship, and I can reach out to those guys and say, hey, we got this going on, and what do you say? And a lot of times we can get those guys ready to go pretty quickly.
That's rad. And then last question, and I will let you go. So training, when you talk about training, maybe this is what you didn't want to talk about, is that the proprietary? What kind of training? Are you offering job advancement training, or is it like OSHA training? Or I thought you mentioned that in the beginning that you guys are doing some training. What does that look like?
As far as training goes, we don't really offer specific training, but we have the ability to offer OSHA classes. Depending on the job, we can offer OSHA classes, but we do have avenues that we can lean on for specific training. So I have some partnerships that I've made in the market that basically we can, and a lot of times it's free or very low cost, where I can provide some training for some guys that maybe are lower level apprentices, and they're looking to kind of brush up on a few things to get in the data center environment, and that's something that I could refer out for the training. But we don't actually provide training within Lone Wolf.
Got it. All right, really, this is the last question, but I will cut myself off. But the great trading school nationally, like when you think of the good the tech schools, because I always grew up MIT Tech, but my belief is if they were advertising, maybe they're not that good, or they are. Like who are the top? And I think if you can, the audience we're talking to is somebody that's not going to high school but wants to go to technical school, and they're willing to travel. They just want to go to the best school to equip them to be the most robust builder that they can be. Do you have a top 5, top 3, or anything like that are like really doing the best work to equip trades professionals?
MIT is great. I have a lot of my friends that went to MIT. They're great. I don't really have any in particular recommendations for any one school. Each state has their own kind of environment of schools that they have. But I would definitely recommend looking into some of the organizations like the IEC for electricians, for independent electrical contractors. They're great at partnering with companies and offering apprenticeship programs where they're sponsored by the company, and then they can go with that company, get some infield training, infield work, and then the opportunity to move on and become a part of that company. So IEC is great for that. There's also different mechanical organizations out there that are run. They're national, but each state has their own different offices. So I would definitely reach out to the particular trade organizations and see what they have going on for their training programs.
Brilliant. Greg, thanks for being here.
My pleasure. Take care.
Greg, thanks for coming. You, the listener, thanks for tuning in. We're going to keep on with this people study. I think it's really important, particularly for my last hammers out there. If you liked it, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. Go build better. Thanks for being here. Chat next time.
Thanks for listening to the Atomic Construction Podcast. If you have questions or comments on this episode, feel free to reach out to us through our website, which you'll find in the show notes below. We also have a Linktree page that lists most, if not all, of the sites that stream the Atomic Construction Podcast, and you'll find a link to that in the show notes as well. So you can click on that, find your favorite site, click on over, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. If you know of anybody in the trades that has a cool and interesting story to share, let us know so we can connect and share their story. Thank you for your support. Cheers to building, and thanks for listening.